Hey up, I'm Guy Kestevan, the Tester-Man, and this is Elmar from Universal Transmissions and their sister brand Nicolai.
Yeah.
You've been in the industry for even longer than I have, I think.
Pretty much as long as the bike company Nicolai exists.
Yeah.
So we're celebrating our 30th anniversary this year.
Yeah.
And pretty exact 30 years ago was when I bumped into Color Nicolai.
Yeah.
When I was riding one of his very, very first bikes. It was, back in the day, sold under the name of Mongoose, brand name of Mongoose. It was the bike that Brian Lopes and Lee Donovan raced on successfully in 1995. And today I'm, you can probably call me an industry veteran. I've been
something
around.
like that. I think that's what we get branded as now.
Been around a little while, but
what's really interesting is why we're chatting now is because the Nicolai story is just a small part.
Exactly.
And you have this amazing history in mountain biking.
Yeah.
But what's really exciting, especially at a show like this, we're at Eurobike here, in case you hadn't guessed, it's kind of the future. So I'm going to kick off with the Nucleon DH1, the absolutely iconic, high pivot, gearbox. I mean, it's not a gearbox, it's a roll-off rear hub in there, isn't it?
Technically, it's still considered a
14-speed gearbox,
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. It was supposed to sit on a different part of the bicycle initially. Back in the day, everybody thought, like, this is completely crazy. You can't do this. What is it for? What does it do to us? And it was probably way ahead of its time.
There's people like Balfour doing this.
Balfour were doing something similar, exactly.
But that's about it.
That's about it.
Yeah.
And I guess over the years...
Trek did something relatively soon after with the diesel, didn't they?
Exactly, and Cannondale actually had a high pivot bike.
Oh yeah, with the jack shaft.
With a secondary chain on.
Yeah.
So all the ideas that we see on downhill bikes in the World Cup circuit today have been around for over 2 decades.
Yeah.
Not to the same degree of engineering power that goes into the bikes today, but that was the start of it.
The level of ingenuity
was the start of it, and
pretty insane.
Yeah, pretty insane. And I guess someone who wants to dig deeper, if you look at the very first prototype, it had just a single rectangular shaped tube rear end. It was as stiff as a banana. So.
But
unrideable.
Again, now that's back in fashion.
That was.
You look at bikes like Aeon, you look at Commensal.
Absolutely.
They're basically using spokes as chainstays now.
Yeah, exactly. Guys. But you know, if you're wondering why the CNC construction looks so massive here, that was our initial reaction to the initial prototype being way too flexy. Yeah. And then we went way too far with this one. But this is just a history piece, and again, we're showing some elements of the early days here, just to remind people of the good old days when things were a little more exciting than
especially with that length and geometry. Things are very exciting.
Yeah. And things were moving very fast back then, right? Yeah. So everybody who has been around for a bit longer than 2 decades knows that almost every year the bike was reinvented, and it was super exciting times, and we were so happy that we were part of this. But anyway, long story short, Nicolai was part of my professional career as a team manager and very unsuccessful racer. And then I departed, did some other jobs at other companies, and now we're back here. So this is a great coincidence.
Fantastic.
That it's 30
Full
years.
Circle.
Yeah.
So should we go and look at one of the latest Nicolais?
Absolutely, yeah. To the present and the future, we're pretty proud to present.
Sneak around and
present a new bike. Yeah. So many people probably know that Nicolai was always about push bikes or regular bicycles, as we call them.
Exercise bikes.
Exercise bikes. But since a couple of years, we also discovered that e-bikes are really, really fun, and they're really useful for a lot of people. And they allow access to areas that someone like me with a lack of fitness would probably not have access to. So e-bikes are cool. We all know that. They're here to stay, and they're part of our product portfolio. So here's our latest. We just presented this at the Lake Garda Festival early May. It's the S18. Bosch Gen 5 motor equipped long travel enduro, and It basically follows the Nicolai philosophy throughout all of the details here. So fully adjustable rear triangle. You can choose to run both common rear wheel sizes, 27 or 29. You can adjust your chainstay length. You can adjust your head angle, but all within a range where it makes sense. So you can't really mess up the bike. That's something we always keep in mind, that we don't put too much weight on the shoulders of the users, trying to make them understand what they need to do with the bike. Some interesting.
You keep it within reasonable limits.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
I think because that's durability and kind of serviceability and longevity has always been a big part of the Nicolai. I mean, that's why I've got a Nicolai tandem.
Yeah.
Because that thing is always going to be ready to go.
And when did you get it? Last year? 10 years ago?
Oh man, I mean, Freya was 9 and she's 21 now.
Right.
And that thing has never even squeaked.
Okay.
It's still on the original bearings.
And there you mentioned exactly who we are building our bikes for riders like you, for people who actually ride their bikes.
Yeah.
Year round, all weather conditions, people who don't have the time to look after their bikes after every ride, like people like you and I, you have a job, you only have a couple hours per weekend or per day, depending on how often you ride, but you want to spend your time riding the bike, and you don't want to hold back when it's grim conditions out there, when it's muddy like in the UK or German winter.
Yeah.
And that's our philosophy. You know, we could probably build bikes that are maybe cheaper or maybe lighter in weight, but because we are focusing on some of these key elements of our design philosophy, a lot goes into the bikes, like quad seals for all the bearings. The bearings are oversized. The bearings have standard industry sizing, so you don't necessarily need to buy from Nicolai. If you have a local source for ball bearings, just measure it, and for a couple of quid,
whatever,
you can upgrade if you want with higher quality, or you can get what's accessible for you.
Yeah.
All of the bearings have an extra O-ring seal on the outside, so mud ideally stays out.
Yeah.
You don't need any extra specific tools other than maybe a bearing press, but that's what's required everywhere.
And this bike goes back to the original sort of Calais' involvement in the development of the 4-bar as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So 4-bar linkage is really the core of our design philosophy, and even today with the requirements for bikes have changed, because now you have so much more torque on the chain with the support of the e-motor. Turns out that 4-bar linkage is still superior when it comes to finding the right anti-squat rates to make the bike pedal neutral, but still super active under braking, and of course under absorbing bumps for you. Still all metal, all made in-house. We are still proud to be able to develop, engineer, design, manufacture, build all the parts all the way to the final assembly of a complete bike, all done in our factory in Germany. And that's what we are really proud of. And it's also something that provides a couple of benefits to the consumer, because we are approachable. You can call us. Don't call all at once, because it's only a handful of guys. We're a small company, but we're there. The consumer can talk to us directly. The consumer can provide feedback directly. If they have any sort of issues, we are right there. You don't have to call a service center, and then the service center calls the distributor, and the distributor calls the warranty department of some big corporation.
And you're talking to someone who is actually in the place where they get made.
Absolutely.
So exactly the right place to get the answers.
Right. And very, very likely you are going to talk to someone who is also a rider, who knows exactly what you're talking about, who knows exactly the situation that you're describing, or even up to your preferred bike settings. If you need guidance on how to set up your bike, you can find help for all of these issues. So that's something we're super proud of, and it's also a lot of fun doing it that way.
Yeah.
Right. So because it's a small company, many people are still involved in a lot of different processes. which keeps the excitement level up for the people who are actually making those bikes. And so e-bikes for sure super important, but we are still trying to keep it real. If you want to use a little of a slang, we still make regular mountain bikes, and we're still super passionate about them. So here we got pretty unique combination of two bikes. This is the G1 platform. It's a long travel enduro. We call it all gravity because we don't want to put things in a box really. So if you want to go bike park only, that's definitely a good bike for you. If you want to go enduro, it's the perfect platform. Classic 4-bar linkage. But what makes these bikes so unique is that you can choose between two different drivetrain philosophies. So here you see the G1 GPI with a pinion gearbox and Gates belt drive. So maybe some of you have followed the Enduro World Cup recently, where Aon team riders have been pretty successful in the World Cup and also at the European Championships just recently. So this is a bike that's pretty progressive, forward-thinking, centralized mass, obviously, super low maintenance belt drive for people who just ride a lot. This is like super convenient. No dirty chain, no chain lubrication required. You just basically hose the bike off and you're good to go the next day.
And I think Hattie proved that a whole ton of pedaling and a whole ton of vert wasn't necessarily an obstacle.
No,
I think that's kind of a lot of people look at a belt drive and maybe a gearbox and go, oh no, too much drag.
Yeah.
That handful of watts, that's going to ruin me. It's like, well, maybe a bike that just looks after you all day and doesn't give you any stress and rides better.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's a better thing overall.
That's definitely something to consider. Like the overall performance of the bike is changing. The centralized mass is doing something for you that it's recognizable. Even like you and I, we will feel the difference.
You can feel the back end.
Absolutely.
You can feel without all that. I mean, because rear mechs are getting heavier, cassettes are getting heavier.
Yeah.
And taking all that away, suddenly it's like, oh wow, this is what a shock's supposed to feel like. Yeah.
That's absolutely right. But for all of you out there who say, no, this is way too fast. I don't want to move that fast with technology evolving. I want to stay within my comfort zone, the components that I'm used to. Or even if you say I'm building a bike and I still got a couple of rear mechs that I want to use as spare parts for the next couple of years. Obviously, because we are so small and agile as a company, we also make a version that is classic, regular 1x SRAM drivetrain, obviously with SRAM transmission, compatible dropouts. And this is, like I said, your do-it-all bike. Also, built with the same ideas in mind of being the super rider-friendly, probably not, following every fashion, every trend in the industry.
Just leading them.
These bikes are built very conservatively, I'd say.
Well, in terms of they've got more strength than a lot of brands will have, They're engineered to last.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that outside of me working for this company and working in my position, that's something that I feel as a rider is.
But you always rode Nicolai's even when you were at other brands.
I did, but I also rode a ton of different bikes over the course
of the big suspension brands and everything over the time.
Exactly. But the one thing that stands out to me as a rider is that my bike can be 2, 3, or 4 years old and it's still not outdated.
Yeah.
Because there's not the brand new reinvention of the bike, like what I explained earlier with how
collaborations with people like Chris Porter at Geometron, everything like that.
Absolutely.
Again, it's kind of almost like it's like an artist suddenly being rediscovered again by a whole new generation. People are like, oh, those bikes are really cool. Yeah. I wonder, are they new? It's like, no, they are far from new, but it's good.
Exactly.
It's like, Paul McCartney collaborating on people's records going, oh oh, it's really nice that they've given him a chance to shine. I wonder if he'll do well. You know, kind of makes me laugh.
Yeah.
That people are like, oh, have you seen that new Nicolai? It's like, yeah, you get on the Nicolai program.
Yeah, absolutely. But then again, we don't want to be appealing to only a specific group of riders. We want to be an attractive brand for everybody.
Yeah.
And of course, also we react to the feedback we get from our customers.
And you can react quickly as well.
And we can react quickly. And also the feedback we receive from a Nicolai customer sometimes is the feedback from a person who has been with the brand for a long time. Like we got reoccurring customers, which in the marketing world is always the most desired goal. Create a reoccurring buyer.
Yeah.
We have reoccurring riders, not buyers. We got people.
You've probably got generations.
Pretty sure we got generations of customers, and even they provide feedback that they want something new, something different, and we try to accommodate that as well, always within our DNA.
Yeah.
And we got one good example of that over here. So, like I said earlier, this year is our 30th anniversary, and here we do have a limited edition bike that basically celebrates 30 years of Nicolai with a couple of components and a couple of features that carry a similar or the same DNA as the Nicolai brand. So obviously you guys see here's a brand new intent fork in there. That's their latest and greatest 38 millimeter stanchios upside down fork. This thing is crazy tech. It's really cool. Same goes for...
But it looks perfect in that bike.
It does.
I mean, it's just the right scale and everything. It's the right approach.
Yeah.
It's full Rammstein.
Full on. We got intent brakes on this bike. We got intent rear shock. We got Praxis...
Intent stem?
Intent stem. We got like one of their super cool carbon bars. We got Lilienthal carbon rims on this bike, which is something super special. And we got North Shore billet cranks on this pinion motor gearbox unit, which is super cool. Of course, Gates belt drive. This is a crazy package. Limited to only 10. All finished off with Cerakote finishing. So this is not paint. This is basically a ceramic finish on this bike.
Wow.
It's super thin, super durable. It's the high tech of finishes for metal surfaces these days. So really perfectly fits into the whole DNA of a Nicolai bike. So, like I said, only 10 of these available.
Price?
Yeah. So I hope you don't mind that it's a bit more pricey than other offerings in the market.
I mean, look at it.
Yeah.
It should be.
It should
Sorry,
be.
I'm falling over now.
Yeah, it sells for 17,000 euros.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. I mean, that's art you can pedal. And that's the combined gearbox and motor unit as well, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was trying to say that the only downside is that it's limited to only 10, so I can't have one. This display over here is something that was born out of the idea of explaining who Nicolai is as a brand and as a bike manufacturer. I was a little surprised that talking to some people who would describe how they perceive the Nicolai brand, that they all talked about this aspect of handcrafted bikes, and they still had the idea of someone sitting there cutting tubes with a jigsaw and then welding them together, which creates a bicycle frame. And then when I visited the workshop for the last time, the machine shop, I was like, this is not handcrafted anymore. We are a high-tech, highly industrialized factory. We do crazy stuff over here. So we should spend a minute to explain to people what we really do.
Yeah.
And that was
because it's weird. Handcrafted kind of almost has it's traditional,
Right.
it's rustic. It's not the latest technologies. You're kind of taking a hit on performance,
Right.
because it's some old dude with a file, and it's all quaint and nice and everything. But
No, absolutely. There's no reason to discredit craftsmanship, which still is an essential part. When you look at our welding technology, that is still work that is done by hand. But everything else that goes into this bike is really high tech. So just if you would see the CNC machines that applies robotics in the manufacturing process and all that, that's high end stuff. And this is what we're trying to show here. There's a couple of pieces here that show the steps from a raw billet aluminum piece to the linkages that we're creating. But it's way more than that. Just also the full engineering that goes into creating the housings for the motor brackets and the integration of the batteries and really making full use of different technologies and combining them makes it also really unique. So a lot of aluminum bikes have hydroformed tubings, and some aluminum bikes have a lot of CNC machine parts on it, and we're probably among the very, very few who actually combine all of this.
yeah.
You know, you got certain tubings that are custom hydroformed for us.
Yeah,
Like
so the top tube is hydroformed there, yeah.
Even the down tube here. This is a hydroformed piece,
But then it's post-machined.
and then it's machined on top of that to really take full benefit of all.
See, again, there's me jumping to assumptions straight away.
Right. So. I hope this shows, and I hope people enjoy this display of our technology, and particularly how passionate people at Nicolai are about creating something as wild as this, with being able to apply the most modern technologies and processes, and it makes the brand very, very unique. Okay, so you've all seen CNC machines and how bicycle components are milled out of big chunks of aluminum. But even there, we are trying to be a little bit more efficient in the way we are actually using all those processes. For example, with this rear suspension rocker here, and this is how the final piece looks like, we do not start with a square block of aluminum to basically make sure that we are using the minimum amount of raw materials, and also to improve the whole manufacturing process. We have our own custom designed profiles that will be delivered by our aluminum supplier in this raw shape, which already eliminates a couple of steps. So basically, you can imagine that the outer shape of the final product is sort of defining an ideal shape of the raw material. So we do that not only to save money, but also to be responsible with or act responsible with our resources. So we're using less material. We're also using less energy to run the machines, because it saves a significant amount of time. Which is something that we do not advertise, but it's just something that we want to take care of without making it a part of our marketing story.
Yeah.
And then here again,
because to be fair, you guys are pretty light on your marketing story, which is I say that in a really good way.
Yeah, we are.
You're not forcing it down people's throats. You're just like, here we are, come and talk to us.
That's right.
You'll be surprised.
That's right. We're definitely not a marketing company. We are a manufacturing company.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons is also because we just don't have the time to do it. We invest our time in
making and riding bikes,
making all this stuff here and riding bikes. So I guess also we do have the luxury that we have a good enough fan base that we don't have to constantly fight for new customers, because we don't have to sell hundreds of thousands of bikes.
Yeah.
We're a small brand, and we have we have a very, very small
And also,
quantity of bikes that we are making each year.
while you're competing, you're obviously competing in the industry, but there are very few close competitors. There's no one else who makes. No, I can't think of anyone who makes anything that similar to a Nicolai. I guess Atherton in a way.
Atherton,
probably the
with
closest
different technologies.
Different technologies, but a kind of similar vibe, I'd say.
That would be a brand that I would regard as the same type of company. They have the same motivation. They obviously, with the Atherton family, their background is
similar racing success to
racing.
You. Yeah.
Well, obviously they have much more racing success than anyone on a Nicolai would ever have, which is great. Probably a slightly different approach. Really more racing DNA in there as well. And we admire what those guys do. You know, while we're competing, we are still also leading the path of trying to bring like true rider-influenced high-tech to the market, which is very mainstream dominant. So it also feels good as a brand to have our approach being confirmed by someone else doing it their way.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, this whole example of how we do things is something that even I always feel like it's super impressive. Like this is again like the hydroform CNC machine down tube of an S16. There's so much working time going into this one, but still, even if you look at all the details and the level of the quality, even all the way to things like inside of the frame, where you know your average bike would never have the same quality of surface finishing and just attention, because you will never see it probably if you use the bike.
You probably don't need it most of the time.
But we're just taking care because we just don't leave anything untouched if we know it can be improved. We talked about the complexity of welding, combining hydroforming and CNC machining. So this part is a really good example. We got a CNC machine head tube, a hydroform CNC machine down tube. What used to be a gusset back in the day, which was one or two flat sheets of aluminum welded onto two tubes, is today also
that's what I have on the tandem.
It's a 3D designed and fully CNC machined part today as well.
Yeah.
So super complex, all with the purpose of being able to take advantage of the maximum we can do and we can put into these bikes.